Oh yes. It's that time. It's that time. PoGokeRo Pirate Broadcast. Today's topic: inherent contempt. Hey, what's up? Indeed. Indeed. I'm back yet again. Back once again. Yeah, Pirate Broadcast. Talking about the inherent contempt of what's going on. Like, I'm being a little bit tricksy here, right? Because you thought this was going to be about the inherent contempt ruling. So yeah, the news is that a court ruled that Congress does not have the ability to subpoena because it didn't write a law to say so, which is kind of like brand new. That's like a brand new interpretation. I've never heard of that before. I mean, we've had our country going for like 200 years. And I don't think it's ever been argued by a judge that Congress doesn't have the ability to subpoena. So that moves it then. Well, the only and the judge, that same judge, even casts doubt on the possibility that Congress has inherent contempt powers, even though it's stipulated in the Constitution. They argue that it hasn't been used since like 1917, so that it's basically not there anymore, is what he's saying. Because it hasn't been used, it's not there anymore. So this is crazy. Because how can Congress engage in oversight if it doesn't have subpoena power? Like, it can't. It can't. Like, there's got to be some precedent. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know. But there's got to be some precedent that says you have or Congress has subpoena power. There's got to be somewhere in some court where a judge said, yeah, Congress has subpoena power, and so it's precedent. So this is just weird. I don't know where I'm going. You know what? Here, I'm gonna go somewhere before I talk too much. Okay, so let me go somewhere before I get going off too much in my head about stuff. I'm kind of full up on stuff. But yeah, like, it's insane, man. It's insane that the judge would say this. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Alright, so I need cactus. I need sand. Sand. Are you telling me there's like no cactus? Come on, dude. Just got, yeah. I need hoppers. 1, 2, 3. I need hooks. I need string. I need dispensers. Dropper. Dude, this base is slacking. I can just do it this way. Do you have observers here? I think I left it in another. Alright. I'll just grab the cobblestone from there. Okay. So yeah. Alright, we're still rocking. You're coming with me. Wood, I want to grab wood too. Hey, glass. string, dispenser. Dropper. Man, why I'm so poor on dispensers? That's terrible. What happened to all my dispensers? Here, I can make a bow. Make a bow. Get some redstone and cobblestone. And make a dispenser. Dispenser made. Goodness graciousness. Okay. Sand, dispenser, string. I only have 4 iron. Okay, I need more iron. Man, nothing's working. I have too much stuff in my inventory. 64. I'll trade you the gold for your ingots. Okay, there. I can now make the stuff I need. So we are going to Pigman Bastion. Bye-bye, my base. I gotta work on that. So it's prettier when you leave, because right now it looks really ugly. But yeah, look at this giant lava lake I live on. In the nether. So, yeah, I want to get to where I'm going first. Once I start establishing stuff, then I can start freestyling again. Well, I should freestyle right now, right? I mean, like, tell you what's up. So yeah, so our government is like breaking down. It's being broken. And I don't know if people are aware of it. I guess people are, right? Trump has Donald has a solid 40% of people that support him. No matter what, they support Trump. Right? They are fully on board with what the leader says. Whatever the leader says, they're on board with it. And it never changes. The Bastion! But it's not done yet. So that stuff like that happens. Okay. So this is going to be a piece of sand. Witness the quickness with which I built this. Cobble. Sure, why not? That's what we're on right now. I need slabs. And slabs needs a workstation, work table, workbench. So I need the hooks. Oh, did I forget the string? Did I put the string back? I bet I did. I forgot the string. I have to go back. Oh, man. I thought I was doing so good. Oh, wait, no, I might have some in my ender chest. I got a bunch of stuff. I don't know if any of that's string. Wouldn't that be terrible if I was defeated by the lack of string? It might be in there. Nope. It's a bunch of redstone stuff, but no string. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I need to go back. That's a bummer. I need to remember to put string in somewhere. Well, I can make the slabs. Hey, yeah, why not this stuff? There. I'm like, oh. And I put all my, oh, not all the rails, just most of them. Oh, then the redstone, I left all the redstone that I needed to bring. Okay, so I just need the string. I don't have anywhere to get the string. Oh, that guy's a mean guy. He'll kill me. He will attack. Oh, I didn't know they spawn them in now. Oh, jeez. That's crazy. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be like a mission of slaughter once I get my base ready. Yeah, there's no room for the two of us. There's none. Oh, nope. Probably, I'm gonna need more room than this. This is like too small. I might like expand outward in there. Yeah, this is way too small. Okay. Oh. Okay. Do I even need a roof? Just for completeness sake. Alright. And this is entirely too small of a location for me. But it will have to do for right at this very moment. This will establish the beachhead, from whence I commence my raid. There it is. Punk, what's up? That's right. That's right. You're gonna go over there and die. Burn, my little piggy. Uh-oh. What's going on? Alright, there he died. Alright, we'll get out of here. I didn't finish my stairs. Okay, because this has to be a we're not gonna have fun, piggies. Things aren't gonna be. This isn't gonna be a good time for either of us. So we're gonna need to make a steel door. A steel door so you can't get in. A steel door. Let's see. Baton. Alright. Nope. Maybe the. Oh, I don't know. Let me see what happens. Yeah, it's gotta go the other way. Okay. Steps. Okay, my little piggies, death is coming for you. But first, I'm gonna chillax. Yes, piece of string. I can't believe that. Well, I guess we can go back and get the piece of string. So yeah, inherent contempt. Inherent contempt, going down. Once I get my station together, I can probably dive into the pictures I've drug up. Right now, but I've got to do the requisite Minecraft part, right? It's a Minecraft show. So I got to do a little bit of Minecrafting. And in a way, it's kind of encoding, right? I mean, like, I'm encoding by adding a visual perspective for you to latch onto and attach your own meanings to it. Like, I established a beachhead on the Black Fortress. Yeah, welcome to my story. Now you're in it. So, but yeah. I'll continue on with it, right? I'll flesh it out more, but like, this is like the bare bones part of it. You gotta endure. So look at that. That's like a microchip, even this area. Because of all the different tracks coming out. Alright, string. There it is, the string. The string I forgot to bring. Right? Look at that, 64. Check it out. Just take your string. Stick it right there to deal with it later. few more tracks to go. I just need places to go. Places to go, people to see. Privacy. Public. Yes, all of this is public. Public broadcasting. This is a dark tunnel. I should probably light it up with stuff. Light it up! Enderman, what's up, Enderman? That's right, goodbye, Enderman. Oh wait, not goodbye. Close enough for him to see me. Okay, so we got our string. I can hear him. Oh, the redstone, of course. Ha! Okay, and then a block here. No! What's wrong? Oh, let's see. What's wrong? I don't get it. Oh, do I have to like go like? What's going on? It's there, but it's not dispensing. Pourquoi pas? Why aren't you working? Like, you worked everywhere else. What's going on? I don't get it. What am I doing something wrong? He has to be back one more. No, nope, that was it, man. It just took one piece of string. Oh, that's what I forgot. Okay, now I know what's going on. I forgot that part to connect everything. Okay, dust there, dust there. That's what I forgot. I was like, man, what am I doing wrong? See how slow I am at this? There we go. You see it popped up. Okay. Cart goes in. Yes! I did it! Dum dum dum. Okay. Oh wait, now the string is there. Okay. I can do this. Get rid of that stuff. Take the string out. Put that in there. And then put the string in one of these guys. 20 more. I can maybe put it in here. String. There we go. Like, I hope I can remember that string is with the wool. That seems like an oversight. Okay. Alright, let's see. I guess I should make this a little nicer. There really wasn't much of a ceiling to work with. Like, I can't go very much higher. All right. Make this a little bit, because that looks weird. All right. Oh, I don't want to break the buttons. Whatever. Okay, there we go. So, my Minecraft beachhead to lay the assault eventually. Yeah, nice. I'm well situated. Okay. Let's begin with the analysis, shall we? I don't like this. Okay, so what do I got here? First of all, let's talk about oh man, which one? What happened in Portland? Let's talk about what happened in Portland. What happened in Portland? So this guy has been shot. He's been shot. People.
Watch out, bro. She's trying to help him. She's the fucking man trying to help him. So let her help. Hey, let her help.
Do you need an ambulance? Gracie, do you need an ambulance?
Yeah, call the ambulance.
Call
Call 911, man.
Sir, I'm a medic. I just give me directions.
Help.
Where are we?
Help, man.
I need street names now.
Hey, they're right here. All you can.
Oh, okay.
Right here.
We need a medic.
Watch the police. The police coming. Watch what the police do. Kicks her gear. Takes the medics away from the guy. The medics are gone. They kick out the medics. So there's no one treating the dude anymore. He's just gonna lay there. No one's gonna
see what happened.
Saw a little bit of it.
No, sir.
I just came up here.
So they're gonna like leave him there and do nothing. Oops, the wrong one. So that guy, the cops drove off the medics that were helping the dude, and make sure, and he bled to death and he died because no one took care of him because the cops pushed him away. So that guy, his name is well, one of his names is Jay Bishop. Jay Bishop. So up in Portland a couple years ago, there was a white supremacist riding the Max. It's a light rail, and there were Muslim women on the board. I guess they were Muslim because they had the head covering. They had the head stuff. And he was being very, very abusive toward them, verbally abusive, and acting threatening toward these women. So 3 guys who were also riding the train tried to calm him down and get him to like relax, you know. And dude took out a knife and stabbed them, and one person died, got stabbed in the neck, and he died. So a guy died protecting these Muslim women from this crazy white supremacist. And then he went to prison for that, and yeah, he's awful. He's awful. But if you ask the guy, Jay Bishop, who's lying there on the ground as he bleeds to death because the police don't want to help him, as he's lying there, he lies there until he bleeds to death because the police drove off the medics that were helping him. But this is the kind of person he was. A year ago, or a couple years ago, when that stabbing happened, he was asked his opinion on the whole event, and this is what he said.
3 vigilante thugs get up on the public transit to assault a man because of his opinion and the words coming out of his mouth. It's absolutely criminal. But all around Portland here, people are trying to act like these people are heroes, that they did something right, instead of going over to the person feeling victimized and saying, don't worry, we're here for you. They got in another man's face and assaulted him.
See, he's a Nazi.
He then rightfully defended himself.
With a fucking knife?
3 versus 1 is absolutely reason to use a knife.
See? He's a Nazi.
You're
He's
not
a
allowed
fucking
to
Nazi.
assault people. You're not allowed to be a vigilante.
He wasn't assaulted at all, dude.
This person was illegally arrested for self-defense. And
So-
I'm here to tell all these socialists the truth of the matter, that we have rights in this country, and that's a good thing. And that these 3 people that died or were stabbed are not heroes. They're not anybody to be idolized. And they deserve everything that they got from assaulting a man. That's what I'm here to talk about.
See, that guy is a Nazi. That guy is a Nazi. Did you hear that Nazi said? For him, for the Nazi, this is something called confirmation bias. It's confirmation bias. The Nazi doesn't like go through the steps and then see where it takes him and goes like, oh, there it is. He doesn't go through the steps to see where it takes him. Instead, he already knows where he wants to go. I want to go there. And then so the Nazi will then backtrack and fill in anything he needs to get from here to where he wants to go. And he'll find whatever he needs in order to get to where he wants to go. He doesn't follow what's there. He picks up what he needs in order to get where he wants to go. So for that Nazi, for him, it was already in his head that the Muslim women were bad, and that the man accosting the Muslim women was in his rights, and that anyone stopping him from doing his white supremacy are bad as well. So once you understand that from his perspective, like, or where he's trying to go, he's trying to justify why it's okay to hate on Muslim women. Everything else is excused from then on. He doesn't care what actually happened. He fills in what he needs in order to get where he wants to go. That's a Nazi. And that's a broken way of thinking, because it's not the truth. It's not the truth. It's not the truth. It's a fantasy that he just buys into because he built it, because he already knows where he wants to go. So Lulu Lemieux is fantastic, and she's on Twitter. And there it is. No, that's not going to do it. That's not going to do it. I am doing it this way now. Open with in friend view. Lulu Lemieux hooked us up with this great information graphic. This is great. Oh man, see, I should be like that. All right. Disinformation agents exploit your biases. So you have to look at right-wing media as full of disinformation agents. They're not actually news people. They're there to trick you. That's why they're there, to trick you. They're not there to let you know what's happening. They already have where they want you to go, and they're just filling it in. They're backfilling it. And as long as that's the same place you want to go, you'll accept it. So disinformation agents exploit your biases. No number of social media bots would be effective in spreading disinformation if the messages did not exploit fundamental human biases and behavior. What that means is if you already are harboring racism and hatred, if that's what you already got, and then it's easy to make a world that justifies what you already feel. It's easy. And so if someone does it for you, you'll happily follow along the trail to where they lead you, off to crazy land. You'll happily do it. So it's not the bots. It wasn't the bots. It was already inside of our society, is what this is saying. It was the bots didn't trick people. People wanted to be tricked. They wanted a story to be told to them. So people are not rational consumers of information. They seek swift, reassuring answers and messages that give them a sense of identity and belonging. The truth can be compromised when people believe and share information that adheres to their worldview. They want to be confirmed in what they already feel. And so they will look for information that supports it and then ignore information that doesn't support it. Like it's just the way it is. And that guy is full of that Nazi that was speaking is full of confirmation bias. He was full of it. Like all the facts bent to support his framing, which made everyone else the bad guys, and the violent guy who stabbed and killed someone the only good guy. He's crazy, right? He's a Nazi. That's what we're fighting against. Nazis. They're real and they're there. And they're here. So that happened, right? That's crazy. But that you'll say, well, that's just a one-off experience. That's just weird. That's just unusual. No, guys, no. Let's look over in Kenosha. Remember Kenosha where that Kyle Rittenhouse went and killed 2 people? He drove from out of town to cross state lines with a weapon he wasn't legally allowed to have, past curfew, to defend property that wasn't his. And he wasn't hired to do it. It was nothing. No contract, nothing. Kenosha. No, not like that. Come on, remember. Open with. According to Kenosha police, most arrested during protests are from out of town. So people from out of town came into Kenosha to cause problems. They came in from out of town to cause problems. That kid, Kyle Rittenhouse, came in from out of town with a weapon to cause problems. And he got it. He got his problems. He made problems. He got it. He murdered someone. Oh, wait. Of the 175 people arrested in Kenosha during the unrest in the city, 102 live outside of the community, according to a statement from Kenosha police. During protests and unrest in the city since the shooting of Jacob Blake by a Kenosha police officer August 23rd, residents of the city have repeatedly said they believe Kenosha residents were not likely to be behind violence, fires, and looting that occurred during the first 3 days of protesting. Crap. According to a statement from police, of the 175 people arrested from August 24th through 12:30 p.m. August 30th, 69 people were arrested for curfew violations, which is dumb, right? With another 34 being arrested for curfew violations with additional charges ranging from carrying concealed weapons to possession of controlled substances. More than 20 firearms were seized, according to police. Arrest numbers include 4 people from 44 different cities, police stated. Man, that's wild. So people from out of town came into town to cause problems, to cause looting and rioting. People not from Kenosha came into Kenosha to cause problems. What's this? That's why I can't do it from over. Okay. So, can't stress how important it is to understand what went down in Kenosha last night. This kid was essentially briefed by police before murdering 2 people. All the talk of out-of-town agitators at protests 100% boils down to white supremacists like him coming from 30 miles away. 2 people were shot and killed and another wounded in Kenosha after a white militia member opened fire during ongoing protests. Shooter identified himself on video as Kyle, seen earlier. Yeah, and you can see Wisconsin militia recruiting citizens to patrol Kenosha riots on InfoWars. This is August 25th or 23rd, I can't tell. And something like BLM and Antifa. Once you've managed to defund and eliminate the police, there's nothing protecting you from us. Remember that. Oh, so that's the militia. So the militia are threatening to attack. And InfoWars is calling people, telling people, or reporting that they're getting more people from out of town to come into Kenosha with weapons to cause problems. So that's what's happening. Oh, crap. Kenosha police chief blames protesters for their own deaths. Defends vigilante groups. So the police chief, the police chief knows these people are coming in from out of town to cause problems with firearms. And they know that an out of town guy killed these protesters. And that these militia were out past curfew doing this. And the police chief still blames the protesters for dying. He doesn't blame the armed white supremacists out of town, roaming the streets, cavorting with the police. No, he blames the unarmed protesters. Across this nation, there have been armed civilians who have come out to exercise their constitutional right and to potentially protect property, he said. Am I aware that groups exist? Yes, but they weren't invited to come. Yes, they were invited to come! Yes, they were! Look it! Wisconsin militia recruiting citizens to patrol the Kenosha riots. I can't read what it said, but I'm sure those comments are like, yeah, let's go. So they're recruiting on Facebook to go to Kenosha. And he's from out of town. And they're buddy with the police. So the police is blaming the people who died for these guys going around murdering them. The police are protecting white supremacists. So they can say blame this on other people. Man, that's some fascist stuff. That's some fascism there. That's fascist. That's straight up fascist. Holy crap, that's fascist. Okay, so we got that going on. Then we got Kate Brown, right? Kate Brown in Oregon. Oh, wait, that's 6. Go to Kate Brown. I need Kate Brown 1 to start. Come on. So Kate Brown came up with a plan. Now that the Proud Boys are coming out and the Nazis are coming out with their weapons, and everyone sees that the police back up to let the Nazis come out and fight and use their weapons, and then after they leave, then the police come out and attack the Black Lives Matter and the Antifa protesters. We see that. Everyone sees it. That's what happened. Everyone sees it. That's what happened. That's exactly what happened. Everyone sees it. That's what happened. But now that happened and everyone saw what happened, now Kate Brown is coming out. So this person said, using an understanding of counterinsurgency to analyze state actions. So Governor Kate Brown announces unified law enforcement plan to protect free speech, quote, quote, and, oh crap, and bring violence to an end in Portland. So Yeah, this is by your friendly butch anarchist. Butch anarchy. So, here's the plan. The plan involves all levels of law enforcement who have agreed to the following. The Multnomah County District Attorney's Office will prosecute serious criminal offenses, including arson and physical violence. The Multnomah County Sheriff Office will work with system partners to hold individuals booked for violent behavior. So they're going to work with other jails to send off, like, if there's a whole bunch of people being arrested, they're going to send them out to other county jails, so that there's always jail room to hold people. As done previously, Oregon State Police will detail personnel and resources to Portland to free up the Portland Police Bureau's investigative capabilities to arrest and charge those engaging in violent acts. OSP troopers will continue their standard practice of wearing body cameras to allow for documentation of their activities. Here, I'm gonna hide the cam. The governor is asking Clackamas and Washington County Sheriff's Offices and the City of Gresham Police Department to support the Portland Police Bureau with personnel and resources to keep the peace and protect free speech. Free speech. Oregon State Police have offered over 24 body cams and associated evidence management to the Portland Police Bureau, and the Bureau will evaluate their use. The City of Portland has agreed to indemnify Clackamas and Washington counties and the City of Gresham for law enforcement assistance. In addition, the mayor will seek financial resources to reimburse these jurisdictions for their support. The United States Attorney General and the Federal Bureau of Investigation will commit additional resources for blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. An analysis of what all that talked about. What's all that about? First, let's take a look at this plan. Can pretty easily be summarized. In a time in which there is the most militant resistance to police in our communities, even a so-called progressive governor is calling to amp up support and resources for the police. Why is that? We only need to look back at what we know about the integration of military and civilian counterinsurgent efforts to understand this. Regardless of political affiliation, those with state power have to project that power and make us believe we are dependent upon it. Kate Brown has to show that she's in charge. She has to do it. Even though she's a progressive Democratic governor, she still has to act tough in order to show the government, the state, has power. The shooting of a right-winger offered Governor Brown the perfect window to attempt to do just that. All throughout her statement, you'll see language that is meant to make it seem like she is targeting white supremacist violence, even when the actual targets are left insurgents. The right-wing group Patriot Prayer and self-proclaimed militia members drove into town, Portland, last night, armed and looking for a fight. Every Oregonian has the right to freely express their views without fear of deadly violence. I will not allow Patriot Prayer and armed white supremacists to bring more bloodshed to our streets. So she's using the language like she's talking about them, but she's not talking about them. She's talking about BLM, Black Lives Matter, and Antifa. That's who she's talking about. Because they're the ones who are saying defund the police, and they don't want to defund the police. Okay, this counterinsurgency. So BLM and Antifa are the insurgencies. Right? They're the ones pushing for change. There's no leader. They're just like doing it. They're not paid. They're just doing it. They're upsetting the order. Governor Brown is part of that order. She needs to defend it. That's her job. So she is by nature counterinsurgency against Black Lives Matter, against Antifa. That's what she is. That's what she has to do. So she is counterinsurgency. So this counterinsurgency, of which Governor Brown is a part, needs to regain the mass support for state sovereignty. She needs everyone to buy into the police and police actions. She needs people to do that, including in suppressing the insurgency. So she has to stop BLM and Antifa from showing that the people have the power, because that's what it means. That's what they mean. BLM and Antifa are demonstrating the power rests in the people. The power rests in the people. They are demonstrating that because they are advocating for change. They're demanding it, and they're not going away. They're demanding change in the power structure, demanding change in the power structure. It is unacceptable that the police are able to murder people without regard for anything. Get no reprimand. They get no justice. They just murder people. It's unacceptable that this is continuing to happen. The state has done nothing to stop it. It continues to happen. And when it happens, there are no repercussions suffered. So yeah, the state has to change. Man, I've been glaring out at the camera and no one's watching. The state has to change. The state must change. So they are an insurgency, and Governor Brown is trying to maintain the status quo. She doesn't want things to change. So due to the wide support the insurgency has, a lot of people believe that people have the power. This means cloaking their counterinsurgency in the language of the insurgency. So they have to. So what that means is that they're talking like they're part of Black Lives Matter and on the same team as Antifa, but they're not at all. They're totally lying. They're lying because their actions will be against Black Lives Matter and against Antifa. Watch where their actions go. Because if they're on the same team of Antifa and Black Lives Matter, she would acquiesce to their demands and defund the police and reallocate those resources. But she is not. Instead, she got more police. She got more police. The exact opposite of what Black Lives Matter and Antifa wanted. It's the exact opposite of what they wanted. It's exactly what is wanted by the Patriot Prayer and the Nazis. Because remember what team the police are on. They're on the team of the Nazis. So more police means more Nazis. That's what's happening. The police are on the side of the white supremacists. The Patriot Prayer. They're on the same team. And the thing is, though, they're on the same team, but they don't give a shit. They don't even care about them. They don't care at all about them. They'll let them die in the street. Let them bleed out and die in the street. They don't mean anything because they're just trash. But they're useful tools, right? If these Nazis want to go out and support the government and protect the power structure, go ahead, guys. Go ahead and go do it. And when you get hurt, it's not on us. If you get shot and bleed out and we have to save you, we're not going to save you. But go ahead, thanks. Like, so yeah, so Kate Brown is talking like she's on the side of BLM and Antifa, but she's on the side of the Nazis. That's why she's getting more police, because police and Nazis are on the same team. Okay, so let me hide me again. So, in explicit terms, the U.S. Army and Marine Corps' counterinsurgency field guide. Skillful counterinsurgents can deal a significant blow to an insurgency by appropriating its cause. That means stealing its cause. They want to steal the cause of Black Lives Matter and Antifa. This is what Governor is attempting to do, in tandem with other aspects of the counterinsurgency, like the police. So they are trying to appropriate, steal the language of the insurgency, the language about radical racial justice we use to bring down the edifice of state violence. You know, so the language about racial justice, what we talk about when we talk about racial justice, that we use to tear down the facade, the face of violence. Because the police want to say, yeah, we're hunky-dory, we're really nice, right? But we have evidence of them beating people. So our language will say, no, dude, you talk like it's hunky-dory, but look at you killing these people. No, we Black Lives Matter. And when you kill people, when you kill black people with impunity, that tells me that you don't think Black Lives Matter. And we need to change that, because you're part of the government, and the government is under the control of the people. The power comes from the people. The power comes from the people. So yeah, so they're trying to steal that language. The government is trying to steal that language, right? And they're gonna, when they steal it, they use that language to justify the increase in state violence, the increase in police brutality. It's vital that we understand this and point it out tirelessly every time we see it. Ultimately, this is a political war. Our enemies understand they cannot defeat us with might alone. We cannot allow them to co-opt, to steal our message without challenge. If we don't challenge them, there will be people who get hooked by that language and shift support away from us. So Kate Brown is trying to steal our language. Right? That whole thing is telling you, that whole thing told you that what Kate Brown has done in her big thing was not show support for Black Lives Matters, but instead she's hiding the increase in the police force. She's doing the exact opposite of the demands of Black Lives Matters. She's doing the exact opposite. Instead of defunding the police, she's increasing the police force. But she's trying to make it look like she's helping Black Lives Matter by protecting them from the out-of-towners who come in to cause problems. But we know that's BS, because the police and the Nazis are on the same team. So she's increasing allies for the Nazis. And she's trying to say that she's helping Black Lives Matter. See how politics work? You see how that works? What else do I got for you? Kate Brown, Kenosha, Kate Brown tricking. All right, so here I have another example of how the Nazis and the law enforcement are on the same team. So this guy, this asshat, is named Daniel Cloverly, Sheriff Cloverly, Sheriff Cloverly of Douglas County, Nevada, in northern Nevada. Douglas County has the towns of Minden and Gardnerville. And this guy, this sheriff, put out an official message on his own letterhead and on his official website. He posted a statement saying, "Due to your support of Black Lives Matter, please do not feel the need to call 911 for help." He is saying that if you're Black Lives Matter person, he's not going to help you. If you get hurt, if you get attacked and you're Black Lives Matters, he's not going to help you. That's what the sheriff is saying. He's an elected official, and the people of Douglas County elected this guy, and this guy is telling residents, if I don't like the way you practice your First Amendment, I'm not going to protect you from vigilantes that will hurt you. In fact, he's on the same team as the vigilantes that will hurt you. So if you're trying to say that Black Americans, that their lives matter, and you get hurt, that's on you. That's what he's saying. That's what this guy is saying. So this story. What happened? There we go. Oh, it's like this. All right. Sheriff tells library not to call 911 if it supports Black Lives Matters. A sheriff in Northern Nevada, man, what Western Nevada? Northern Nevada. A sheriff in Northern Nevada sent a letter to the county's local library that told them not to call law enforcement for help if they needed it. The reason? Douglas County Sheriff Daniel J. Coverly said the Douglas County public library system supports the Black Lives Matter movement, even though it wasn't entirely accurate. The letter posted to the Sheriff's Department's website starts by mentioning the May 25th death of George Floyd, who died while in the hands of Minnesota police officers. The death of Floyd, a black man, set off nationwide protests against his death and against racial injustice in the country. The Black Lives Matter movement started the protests, but some demonstrations across the country have become increasingly violent, which Black Lives Matter says is from outside agitators. Which it is! Kenosha officer even said so. Due to your support of Black Lives Matter and the obvious lack of support or trust with the Douglas County Sheriff's Office, please do not feel the need to call 911 for help, Cloverly wrote to the library's Board of Trustees. I wish you good luck with disturbances and lewd behavior, since those are just some of the recent calls my office has assisted with you in the past. So this officer is saying, like, if you don't practice your First Amendment right in the way I want you to, then we're not going to help you. So what do you think happened? This was in Carson now. Numerous assaults witnessed in Douglas County today during Black Lives Matter protests. So those are protests in Douglas County for Black Lives Matters, and the people were assaulted. The protesters were assaulted by militia guys, armed militia guys. And what do you think the sheriff's office did? The sheriff's office issued multiple press releases about the protests during the past week. Oh, wait a minute. Dude, come on. The sheriff's office issued multiple press releases about the protests during the past week and created free speech zones for the protesters to exercise their First Amendment rights within the parking lot of the sheriff's office. However, when a small handful of BLM protesters, numbering only 20 to 30 at the peak of the protest, arrived on scene, they were immediately attacked and harassed by dozens of counter-protesters who were heavily armed, dressed in military fatigues, and carried assault rifles, bats, handguns, and shotguns, while Douglas County Sheriff's Office deputies stood by and watched. We had places where we were designated to protest, said Brandon Abbott, 21, one of the BLM protesters. When we went to those places, we had people immediately coming and surrounding us, yelling in our ears, blowing whistles, yelling on megaphones, and blasting the sirens on the megaphones right next to us so they could drown us out. After the protesters were barraged by counter-protesters at the sheriff's office with no crowd control, they decided to move to another location to try and get away from the armed counter-protesters who made numerous death threats and physical threats to the protesters. Numerous Douglas County Sheriff's Office deputies were spotted in riot gear with their batons out, walking through the applause of the counter-protesting crowd, and managed the crosswalk in front of the sheriff's office. Some deputies could be seen on the sheriff's office roof, and at one point a drone followed the marchers through the street. At one point in the afternoon, 2 teenage protesters were separated from the group, directly across from the sheriff's office, and were attempting to get into their cars and leave the scene. One man on top of a transformer box yelled to the crowd that the BLM protesters had a right to exercise their First Amendment. "This is America! They have the right to speak," the man yelled, who was then booed before the counter-protesters began chanting "USA! USA!" at him. However, their vehicle was surrounded by counter-protesters who screamed, "We'll effing kill you! Get out of the car!" and other threats. "We were not inciting violence," said Silas. "There was a young man who was assaulted after he defended 2 young Black Lives Matter women who were approached by a large truck. He kept moving even after his truck touched these young women. So one of our men on our end did what men should do, which was protect the young women. When he did that, he was sucker punched by one of the counter protesters. It was at that point I decided we needed to discuss what we needed to do next to prevent someone getting shot and killed." The incident was filmed live on Carson Niles' Facebook page. The 2 teenage BLM women were walking with the group of protesters across the street when a large black pickup truck attempted to drive through the protesters at a slow speed. The girls did not move, and the truck hit them, and continued to move forward as the girls held their place, holding their BLM signs aloft. At that point, the young identified man threw a plastic water bottle at the truck's windshield. Immediately after, the crowd exploded as a counter-protester ran at the young man and punched him with a closed fist on the side of his face. He sucker punched him. He got in many additional blows until other counter-protesters pulled him off. At no point up until this point were DCSO deputies seen anywhere along the streets where protesters were marching, and no deputies stepped in during any of the numerous assaults witnessed by both protesters as well as this Carson Now reporter. BLM members continued walking near Minden Park as numerous counter-protesters continued to surround them, screaming obscenities and threatening them with guns. One man on a horse rode through protesters, yelling foul language and telling them to go back to where they came from. It was at that point that Carson City SWAT deputies arrived on the scene, along with 3 or 4 Carson City mounted patrols on horses. They attempted to control the crowd and separate the counter-protesters from the protesters, who continued to march toward Highway 395. After Carson City SWAT, so another town had to send in their SWAT team in order to keep the peace, because Douglas County Sheriff's Office wouldn't do it. They let the guys get attacked. They were tacitly allied with the Nazis, with the militia guys who were Nazis. So after Carson City SWAT team members and mounted police officers were in the crowd, then Douglas County SWAT team members were finally seen arriving with the crowd as protesters headed to the sheriff's office to retrieve their vehicles. Only after another city intervened did Douglas County Sheriff's Office do anything. During the march, 17-year-old Jace Jackson was assaulted numerous times by adult counter-protesters who shoved, spat on, and hit the juvenile who brought up the rear of the protest march. All the protesters agreed on 2 things. They all feared for their lives during the protest in Gardnerville today, and they would not give up fighting for the rights of Black Lives Matter protesters in our region. Douglas County has not responded as to why DCSO deputies were not with the protesters during their march. So all over, so this happened, right, in Douglas County, and then a job offer came out at my work, a job offer to work at Carson City, and a lot of people who work in the Carson City office also live in Minden Gardnerville. So it's entirely possible that if you choose to work in Carson City, you will live in Minden Gardnerville. Minden Gardnerville is Douglas County. Douglas County is where this Douglas Sheriff's is. So this is a town where you can get attacked by the local militia and have your life threatened. And the Douglas County Sheriff's Office will look the other way. They will let it happen. They're allied with the Nazis. So when I saw this email going out to my office, telling people, oh, there's a job here, I sent out an email saying, hey guys, you should look at this. I showed them the letter of the Douglas County Sheriff saying that he wasn't going to defend anyone who was Black Lives Matter. Then I showed them this article where he followed through with this threat, and then I got in trouble for it because I warned people. And then you have people at the Kenosha, Wisconsin rally where exactly that happened. The police allied with the white supremacists, and the white supremacists killed someone. I warned people about this, and I got in trouble for it. People at my office got offended that I warned people about this. They got offended. I don't know how or why, but they got offended. What kind of people get offended by a warning to save your life? What kind of people get offended like that? Oh, it's like our friend Jay Clark, or not Jay Clark, Jay Bishop, the guy who died, that Nazi. When you're a Nazi, you already have where you want to go. Everything else has to conform to where you want to go. So the people who got offended by me warning about this already have it in their head that the sheriffs and the militia are in the right. And that it's offensive for me to insinuate that they're Nazis. Even though I didn't say they're Nazis. But they are. So, like, how did we get to this point? How did we get to this point? Well, one way of looking at it... Man, this has been loud. One way of looking at it would be like this. Financial wealth distribution in the U.S. as a percentage of Congress and the Senate. Oh, this isn't like Congress people. Well, okay, I thought this was Congress people. This is just another way of looking at it. This is the top 10%, or the top 1%. This is the top 10%. This is the top 20%. And this blue area here... Oh, no. No, yeah, the light blue and everything else is the top 20%. And everyone down here is the bottom 80%. So if you have a net worth of, I think about, I don't know, like $100,000. If you have a net worth of $100,000, you're in like max. You're in this area. So if you are worth less than $100,000, not making a year, because that's your salary and that's your money. I'm talking about assets, like things you own, like a house, like real estate, and then you have to subtract the debt. You can't just say my house, because you have to subtract the debt you own your house. So and then not many people are worth over $100,000, right? So, yeah. So Donald Trump is a Nazi. No one cares about this right now. Donald Trump is a Nazi. Nazis are real. They're out there. Kate Brown, Kenosha, I got that one. They hide behind stuff like QAnon, and QAnon, you know, is BS, total BS. Here, look at this one. Open. Right? We still have people, we still have kids. We have all these migrant kids who are being separated from their parents. And then they get dropped into this government system and then they disappear and no one knows where they are anymore. That's pretty crazy. Our government is doing it right now. We've been screaming about it forever. Do you think any QAnon people care? No! They all love the man who's doing it. QAnon, the Save Our Children people, they all love Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is the one who's disappearing children. Deported parents may lose kids to adoption. Like, oh, I don't know where your kid went. We adopted him out. He's gone now. Sorry. And babies and toddlers sent to tender age shelters under Trump separations. Yeah. The U.S. won't provide... Hold on, get me out of the way. The U.S. won't provide flu vaccines to migrant families at border detention camps. Like, he's killing people. He's killing kids. Donald Trump is killing kids. They're brown kids. They're Americans, because, you know, North, South, and Central America, we're all Americans. This is America. This whole half of the world is America. The United States doesn't get to claim the name of America. America is everything. It's a bigger project than just the United States. The United States is part of it, but it's not all of America. The United States is not all of America. These are American kids who are getting killed at the border. And people like QAnon are so crazy that they can't see it. They can't see it. They're trying to distract with a bunch of other like high profile stuff. But they totally miss the actual crisis. They miss it. They can't see it. What else do I got here? The history of Nazis holding rallies in left-wing areas of Weimar Germany, instigating street fights, and then telling the press that only they could save Germany from the violent communists. No, this seems like an important thing for people to be studying right now, because that's what they did. The Nazis would go hold rallies in parts of the city, in cities where they know they weren't wanted, that no one liked them. They would do it on purpose to instigate fights. And then they would, once they left, they would say, only the Nazis can protect you from the lawless people over here. But they're the ones who bring the violence. Well, that's what's happening in Portland right now. These out-of-towners come in, they cause violence, and then they say, oh, only we can save you. Only Nazis can save you from the Nazis. And Kate Brown is like, that's why I'm hiring more Nazis. This is the both siding it, right? This is what Nazis do all the time. They both sides it. Sure, the cancer was aggressive, but the chemotherapy was also very aggressive. There was aggression on both sides. So that's a way of saying that cancer is not so bad because there's aggression on both sides. Man, or saying that Nazis aren't so bad because of violent Antifa. It's just a distraction. It's a way of tricking you. So Lulu Lemieux, she's awesome. Lemieux, Madame Lemieux. Unity is a matter of national security. We must work toward overcoming our legacy of racism, violence, and misogyny, not just because it's the right thing to do, even though it is, but because that's the cracks in our society through which disinformation gets in. Because we are under attack through a disinformation war. Unhack your brain. Focus on the positive to prevent demoralization. Give each other a boost. It's okay to unplug and breathe. Got to breathe with me. So, got that one. How about this one? Russians know that in political warfare, disgust is a more powerful tool than anger. Anger drives people to the polls. Disgust drives countries apart. So that's why QAnon is so effective. Because QAnon uses the disgust, the revulsion that people feel with pedophilia, with child exploitation. That rightly infuriates people. Child exploitation like really pisses people off. You should be pissed off. That's awful. They're kids. Like fuck, they like that's like exploitation of the weakest. Like that like strikes out our moral core. Like these are the weakest, like these are weak people, and to exploit people like children, they're like vulnerable, and to exploit vulnerable weak people like is like drives like a deep-seated anger and disgust. It's disgust. It makes people disgusted, and that's an easy way to manipulate people. When you can do that, trigger people, and you can trigger people, then you can manipulate them. That's what it's all about. Knowing what it takes to trigger people. Because when you can trigger them, you can make them do things that you want. So, there was a short-term objective to get the US and the EU to drop economic sanctions against Russia, and a longer one to create chaos and division within the West, not by starting from nowhere, but through exploiting existing tensions and cleavages. The ultimate goal was to smash apart Western institutions and democracies, and to push other countries from the non-corrupt to the corrupt side of the ledger. Under Putin and Trump, Russia and America began to resemble each other. This is true. So every one of us is susceptible to some kind of manipulation or con job. When a tweet or a video or whatever pushes your buttons, or whatever, okay, when a tweet or a video or whatever pushes your buttons, whatever triggers you, if something triggers you, if something manipulates you and gets you like all fired up or like heartfelt, like and when something does that to you, pay attention. Pay attention. Use extra caution, because it may have been made to do exactly that. They may be trying to get you to do something. Crap. No, wrong way. Beware of images that feel like they are trying to go viral or create outrage. Images that create strong emotional reactions are not ones we usually take the time to carefully study, but they're the ones we definitely should. A decade's worth of psychology and marketing studies conducted across hundreds of thousands of social media users have arrived at the simple conclusion: the stronger the emotions involved, the likelier something is to go viral. So the whole point of information war is to spread disinformation, demoralize your opponent, and get rid of the idea that there's a truth. They don't want you to believe that there's a truth. The intent is to achieve digital disruption, as well as psychological subversion, beyond disrupting the ability of communication. For example, Another critical component to a successful information warfare campaign is to disorient, delegitimize, and discredit the adversary, and demoralize the will of the opponent using hostile content and hostile code. Remember, everything's information. So if a virus can inject hostile code into a computer system, so can memes into your brain. So you have to defend yourself. Think critically. Think before you're acting. Don't just retweet whatever thing makes you very angry. Like, look at it first before, or makes you disgusted. Look at it first to see what it's trying to do. Analyze information. Look at the source of the information. See if you can trust it. Check references. Research. See if you can corroborate information that you get. So yeah, guys, like, this is like, we're in an information war, and Donald Trump is trying to incite a civil war, and you can't look to your traditional allies for support because they might be compromised too. Kate Brown. So it's gonna get weirder and weirder, but you have to hold on to the ideals that make this country great. And we have to hold on to one another. Our unity is what keeps us strong. Because recognize that the power comes from the people. It doesn't come from the institutions. It doesn't come from the police. It comes from us helping each other and moving together and recognizing that we're all in this together. We're in this together. And if you're a Nazi, I'm sorry you're a Nazi. You gotta figure it out. If you can, but I don't think, like, some guys are gone. Like that one dude who's dead now, he's gone. He couldn't have been converted. Like, and after watching that video, I feel a lot more convinced that he was attacking someone. Because yeah, that guy sounds bad. If he tried to justify murder with the First Amendment, I wouldn't doubt that he tried it. He tried to, like, force someone, try to murder someone who told him to, like, be quiet or something, or who was saying something he didn't like. All right, what else do I got? Where did I save it? I had one more image I wanted to show you. I gotta find out what I did with it. I cannot find it, so I think it's gone. I don't want to go looking for it. I can spend hours doing that. But alright, so I don't know if anyone's gonna watch this. I don't know anything. Like, my own personal life is all messed up. So, like, no one wants to hear personal life stuff. But I'm not trying to talk to you about personal life stuff. I'm trying to talk to you about, like, bigger things that are going on, bigger than me. It's bigger than me. That's happening. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, good night. Adieu, adieu to you and you and you. Boom, 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 boom. Wow, I talked for a lot. Well, I hope I showed you. I showed you that the police are allied with the white supremacists. And it's happening all over the country. It happened in Minden. It's happening in Portland. It happened in Kenosha, Wisconsin. It happens everywhere. Everywhere. The police are allied with the militias. So, and the violence is coming from the right-wing militia, and they're coming from out of town into cities to cause problems, just like the Nazis did in Weimar Germany. It's all like rhyming. It's all rhyming. So stay aware and like be cool to each other. Be cool to each other. Try to make connections and friends. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know. I don't know what will happen. I can't say. But I see it. I see things happening, and I'm trying to point it out and let other people know. And yeah. Okay, America. Thanks for listening. Hopefully this will be useful someday. All right. Until next time. PoGokeRo out. Peace. Stop.